Hello everyone and welcome to our special looking at the track and intensity of Storm Agnes, going through the warnings, then all the models from weather, and then going through each of their tracks for the storm, as well as their wind speeds and wind gusts with them. So just taking a look at the warnings, all warnings are the same apart from this one. The orange warning for winds has been extended to include South Leinster as well and Tipperary, and has been brought forward to 9 a.m. and it will end at 5 p.m. So I think about 2 hours have been added to that warning. So the south is covered by the orange warning, the Midlands by the yellow warning, while the north is warning free, bar Northern Ireland. So this is the GFS 12th run. So starting about 3 a.m. tomorrow, here we go. You can see that the low is just starting to nose into the bottom left corner of the chart, as we know. The low will be approaching the coast of North Kerry by lunchtime tomorrow. Now, one thing that has changed on the track from yesterday's storm watch is that the low is now forecasted to be centered further northwards and westwards. So that means that more areas of the Midlands will be exposed to these damaging winds. As we go into the evening, the storm is over Northern Ireland, so anywhere south of the line from Louth to Mayo will be exposed to damaging winds. So again, today's update does show a more violent storm for wider areas of the country. And into the evening, the storm clears off. This is the GFS wind gusts map. So you can see into Wednesday morning, 9 a.m, 50 miles per hour quite widely in the south, even inland, and getting towards 60 miles per hour on the coast. And by midday, widely 60 miles per hour or above on the coast, touching 70 miles per hour on the extreme south coast. Inland 50 to around 65 miles per hour, I'd say. I think this has downgraded slightly on yesterday's GFS run. So by 3 p.m, the gusts of 60 mph are restricted to the coasts, inland in the 50s. By the way, I should say that 60 miles per hour is about 98 or 97 kph, while 50 miles per hour is 80 kph. So we keep going, and the winds do die off into tomorrow evening, tomorrow night. This is the ECM. So again, we do see we do see the storm system approaching the coast of Kerry by midday. That is a trend so far on both models. Let's see. It drags out over Galway and getting towards Northern Ireland there by 6 p.m. So the GFS and ECM both have a very similar storm track. If anything, I say that the ECM is about 30 km further south than the GFS, but that's just me being pedantic, I think. It's pretty much the same, and anywhere south of the line from, say, Louth to South Mayo on this run, exposed to stormy winds. And into the evening, they pull away. This is the windy.com wind gust map. So you can see this evening, 3 a.m, wind gusts of up to 180 kph recorded here in Storm Agnes, getting towards 190 kph even at strongest. Ridiculous wind speeds there. Now, one thing that I should mention is that while Agnes tracks over Ireland, it'll be filling, meaning that it will lose its intensity. Had this storm system just started forming a few hours later on, these wind speeds would have been very close to Ireland, perilously close. So that is something to be grateful for, that these winds aren't here battering Kerry. Anyway, we'll play it forward, and these strong winds do approach the south coast. So by 12 p.m, widely in the South Midlands, getting above 90 kph gusts, and then on the south coast, in excess of 100 kph, getting towards 110 or above that in Kerry. Getting towards 4 p.m, very similar wind gusts values. If anything, I think this is a very slight downgrade on yesterday's ECM wind gusts as well. But still, especially on the coasts, severe gusts are very much on the cards, as well as damaging gusts. Even inland, you can see like over Leinster and Munster, also parts of Ulster, widely in excess of 80 kph. That is worthy of a yellow warning as well. And also, this is the UK Met run, so you can see that tomorrow at lunchtime, that storm approaching the Kerry coast. 6 p.m. is over Northern Ireland pretty much. So all three runs so far, pretty much the same storm track, and that is good. So it shows that our confidence is increasing hugely. This is the wind gust forecast from the UKV. So again, we can see that tomorrow morning we will see the stormy winds approaching the southwest. Actually, this UKV run has them quite intense. Well, all are intense, but this one just has them more intense. So we can see widely in the south, in excess of 60 miles per hour. That is 97 kph. On the south coast, that is in excess of 80 mph, getting towards 130 kph. Ridiculous wind gusts there. And look at that. Midday, lunchtime, anywhere south of the Dublin to Galway border. I mean, apart from like valleys and so on, you're likely to be around 60 miles per hour or stronger than that. The coast getting towards 70 miles per hour. And these just sort of transfer northwards even. Clare gets a blob of severe winds in excess of 70 miles per hour inland. So that is severe, and that little pulse goes across the North Midlands. So widely, North Leinster, East Connacht by 6 p.m, 60 plus mph. Now, this has not been seen on the other models, or I'm blind, or that just wasn't seen. But that seems to be something new, and that needs a close eye kept on it. If it's still there tomorrow morning on the run, then I think this definitely needs monitoring, and you know what I mean. But this seems a bit strange. That's what I'm saying. It's a bit strange to see that pulse of strong winds. That's possibly just south of this centre of the low, so that could be what's fueling those really strong winds there. But either way, the storm clears away into Thursday morning, and we're left to recover. This is the GM. Let's get rid of this horrible ad. No one wants that. I do wish I could get rid of these as well. Anyway, because we're here to do weather, not showcase ads. Into tomorrow. Sorry about that, guys. Tomorrow, Storm Agnes approaches the coast of Kerry again. On the GEM, I think the system is just slightly weaker and a bit further south actually. On this run, it's approaching the South Kerry coast, and by 3 p.m, it's actually over West Munster, so Cork, Kerry, Clare, Limerick sort of area. And by 6 p.m, it's over the Midlands and North Leinster. So this is further south. So in this sort of scenario, like only areas south of Dublin and east of Tipperary are exposed to damaging winds. This is the first model that sort of keeps the load further south. All the others have transit northwards. So to say that it's likely that this is simply off on a tangent, but you can't discount it at all. I mean, after all, this storm is still forming, and the jet stream, the exact interaction with it, will make a huge difference. You know, if something goes very slightly differently, the storm could be in a totally different place. Ireland, that, you know, we are a small country. We are an island. So even if this storm is just 50 miles further north or south than expected, a huge difference in a place, you know, a place that may get severe winds if it happens to be just a bit further north. 50 miles in this country is huge because we are a tiny country. I hope that makes sense because this is why I'm showing you each run and the exact track of the storm just to find out, you know, exactly where. We're trying to pinpoint where the strongest winds will be. And they will not be where the low is centered. They'll be on the eastern and southern flank of the low, most likely. Anyway, moving into tomorrow evening, the low does pull away. Actually, you know, the GEM doesn't really have a good sites for winds like TWO or windy.com, so we have to try our best and decipher these charts. Obviously, they're very hard to make out. The arrows here are just the wind directions, so we can see that we currently have southeasterly winds over Ireland, and there'll be like that overnight. Into tomorrow, we see these bright colours approaching Ireland, and they bring strongest winds to the southeast first, also getting towards the south coast and the southwest as well. And that little hook of intense winds does stay offshore, but still very strong winds do occur. And this little line here could be quite a schooly feature on the front, so this needs watching, as well as this core in the south. Anyway, we push forward, and the storm clears eastwards. Again, you'll notice that under the low centre, very calm winds. So it's very likely that if you are in the northwest, all you'll see is rain, and a breeze in the morning, possibly quite windy as well, followed by calm weather but quite wet weather, followed by windy weather, as well as some further rain. Anyway, that's that one done. This is the icon, and here we go again. The low is approaching Kerry by midday. This has it over Galway by 3 p.m. and Northern Ireland and Donegal by 6 p.m. So this, like the others, bar the GEM, has the low further northwards. So that exposes much of Ireland to these powerful winds. This is the wind gust forecast from Icon. So again, you can see that widely by midday, south of the line from Dublin to Clare, in excess of 50 miles per hour in all areas, but quite widely in excess of 60 miles per hour. A lot of S's there. Also touching on to 70 miles per hour on the coast, possibly going above that in a few areas. Again, these winds are reaching far inland, and this is why the orange warning does cover the south, and parts of the Midlands as well. Anyway, it clears off, and it's just plain old blustery on Thursday. And after that, finally, we come to the AEPEGE, and we see this storm approaching Kerry by lunchtime tomorrow, and is over Galway Mayo by 3 p.m. and Donegal by 6 p.m. And the wind gusts with this on the AEPEGE. Again, South Midlands getting towards the south coast, in excess of 60 miles per hour, getting towards 70 on the south coast. Actually, quite widely in Kerry and Cork there by midday, lunchtime, in excess of 70 miles per hour, getting close to 80 on the coast. And these strong winds are actually inland in the North Midlands by 4 p.m. tomorrow. So that is watching, and it clears away into the evening. So definitely shifted northwards on yesterday. Stay safe. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.